Welcome back to Two Sports Overtime on WDTN Plus. I'm Kayler Smith. That's Joey DeBerardino. It is Wednesday, August 20th, and it is the eve of high school football here in Ohio. How about that?
It's been just such a long wait, it feels like. It's like waiting for Christmas morning, and it's finally here.
I know for all these teams, that's how they feel.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
I mean, the long dog days of summer. I mean, it's still summer, not quite in that fall weather yet, but 2 days are over. They've been over for, a week now. They're into their school schedule. They're practicing now in the afternoon, and then now they're going to be getting ready for games on Friday night, but first on Thursday night. And as we do every year here in the Miami Valley, the tradition of starting the season off for the starter trophy, a battle of Kettering between Alter and Fairmont, two of the most storied programs in the area, go at it once again for just a great night, a packed house at Rouse Stadium, and it's going to be an exciting thing to see for your first taste of football here in the Miami Valley, Kayler.
No doubt, at a big stadium, too. I'm sure the environment's going to be great. You said there is a trophy?
There is a trophy.
Wow.
They don't present it on the field because they bring it into the winning team's locker room because it's in glass and it's kind of a little bit more like display kind of worthy trophy rather than just like an axe or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's a starter from like an old automobile, and hence the starter trophy is starting the season. So that's kind of where it came from. So. But yeah, I mean, we'll get right into it. Like we mentioned, Fairmont, Alter.
Alter is going to be looking to have that trophy.
Yeah, it's been a while.
For the first time in 5 years then.
It's been a while since they've had it. Fairmont now 10 years under Dave Miller at the helm for the Firebirds. They won that first conference title last year in the GWAC. They shared with Centerville. It was actually their first conference championship since 1997, before the GWAC was even a thing. So big season for Fairmont. 3 winning seasons last 4 years. And, of course, they got that awesome triple option run game. That's Dave Miller's bread and butter. Running back junior Logan Doty leading the way at 1,200 rushing yards, 25 touchdowns last year. Yeah, he's a beast. So we'll get ready to see him working on Thursday, and it's gonna be an exciting game to see, and up against a really good Alter team though, led by another legend.
And it's been dominated by Fairmont in the last several years. They've won they've won their last 4 straight and 6 of the last 7, and all but one. 2023 was a 3-point game, but other than that, Fairmont has pretty well dominated this game in the last 4 years. And when you talk to the Alter players like I did, it's fresh on their mind, these seniors especially. They're sick of losing this game. They want to win this one finally for the first time in their high school careers. But, Alter coming in under another legendary head coach, Ed Domsites, his 34th year at Alter, but his 50th in the coaching business. What an anniversary for him.
Dude's a legend around here. It's great. And, I've got a chance to the pleasure of emceeing the starter banquet trophy and hearing those two guys talk football and about their programs is always great. But Ed kind of has the one up in terms of going to a state championship and going to multiple state championships. Dave's still looking for his first one, but Dave has owned the rivalry lately, and that's kind of how it's been. And I poked fun at Miller at the banquet because it's kind of a little bit of a roasting, fun jousting back and forth. And they had 611 passing yards last season, Fairmont, which is like incredible that they had that. Like, they don't pass the ball, right? They had 3 pass attempts in last year's Battle of Kettering. So I said, Dave, you're losing sleep over that? 611, that's going to be the most in your career ever. And he's like, yeah, so.
There was a coach, there was a team in Texas that I covered that ran the triple option, and we would actually joke with the coach when they would take 1 pass attempt, and he'd be like, we shouldn't have even done it.
Yeah, wait till you see on Thursday night. That first pass will go up, and everybody will be like, the whole stadium holds their breath every time Fairmont throws the ball. Alter runs the wishbone. They're definitely run heavy, old school, but they throw it a little more.
On that note, I think we should listen to what the Alter players had to say about this game, because it alludes to that and how much of a ground and pound game this game truly is. So I think we should listen to what they had to say.
Obviously, on all of our hearts is Fairmont. That's one we've been looking to take back for several years now. I know Davey Miller's got a great program over there. We love lining up against them every year. They got hard workers. I got a couple friends over there. They work hard. Talk about a disciplined team is the Fairmont game. we come out there and it's backyard football. I mean, talk about grit, talk about like pure just sheer strength and thick football.
We've lost the last 5 years, so my opinion, we have nothing to lose. Just go out there, play our hearts out, and just give it our all, because I'm not trying to lose to these guys 4 years in a row.
Yard gritty football.
It's the best, and that's exactly what it is. You know, it's funny. Ed Downside said at the thing too. Another funny. He's like, he could be a stand-up comedian, by the way. I spoke, and then Ed went after me, and I was like, I'm so glad I went first, because I don't know how I could have followed up with what Ed said, but Ed joked. He said, if I lose 5 in a row, you have to come back to this banquet again next year. And then I said in return, I said, Ed, you don't have to lose. You'll have to come back here, but you're going to lose your VIP golf cart spot up front. Yeah, I know. And
I know he loves that thing.
He does. And then
he said it's elongated his career. He's 75.
And then he gets up there and then he goes, you better be careful how much you poke fun about me losing in a row in my golf cart, because, Dave likes you more than I do already. So, they're great. But, I mean, seeing Alter having 2 back-to-back playoff deep runs, the state championship appearance 2 years ago, regional final last year, they got Drew Cripps coming back, Rod Owens, so I mean it's all that makes for Alter to maybe finally get out in front and get this rivalry win. But
Rod Owens is a first-time starter. He was primarily a running back last year.
Great athlete, but new position for him.
Their former quarterback, who I believe you said got hurt at the beginning of last year,
Gavin
Finn
Connor.
Freshwater.
Finn came in. It was Gavin Connor who got hurt. Finn Freshwater as a freshman. Freshman came in, and
the Knights don't have Freshwater anymore.
No.
He now plays at Miamisburg. So Rod Owens will be under center for the first time.
Yeah, so
as a full-time starter.
Definitely, Fairmont is always obviously they're the Division I team in the GWAC, Alter, a Division IV team in the GCL, but regardless of
that's insane, by the way, to me. I've never seen, even in like Missouri when we would kind of play other classes, you might do, ours was the other way around. Class 6 was the biggest, Class 1 was the smallest. You might play a Class 5.
Right.
You'd never play a Class 2.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and the all-time series is pretty close. I want to say it's like 36 and 32 and like 1 or 2 or something like that. So I mean, regardless of division or size or whatever the case is, talent level, Fairmont typically has more kids, more talent than Alter, but Ed's been there long enough. He knows how to coach those guys up. So, and that's kind of what we'll hear now from Dave Miller, talking about how they prepare for this game and how tough of a team Alter always is.
Always starting the year with Alter on a Thursday night, the Battle of Kettering, the whole community's out. It's a great community, number one. What's great about that is, we have such respect for each other, the coaching staffs, the kids. Yes, they want to beat each other as bad as anybody, but once that's over, we really root for each other. That's special. It's a special way to start the season. Having, the place packed is a pretty neat environment for a kid to play in, too.
Love that respect they have for one another.
Yeah, and that was fun, full display too. As all the joking aside at that banquet, those guys just chopped it up next to me the whole time during the lunch, and they're, Dave always says how much he learned and took from Ed. That old school mentality. Really disciplined practices. You were pretty surprised going to that Fairmont practice. I said it's intense, and I think it even exceeded what I had prepared you for. A very militaristic style.
And you know what I compared it to? Sorority. Like, it reminded me of like Sorority Rush and kind of like how they yell at each other and are on each other to like hype one another up.
Yeah, the sidelines clapping. And
I left my sorority after a year because of that. I couldn't do it.
Well, if you're playing football at your sorority, you might have stuck around over that because football's great. But.
That's true. I love football.
Yeah,
maybe that's why I didn't fit in very well.
maybe. But no, you'll see it. You'll see. We'll both be there, like I said, on tomorrow, Thursday. So I mean, it's a great environment, and those guys always have their teams ready to play. So always a great way to start off the season. We'll see if Alter can avenge the last few losses. We'll see what Fairmont's got in store this year. But obviously, looking forward to that. And then moving on to the first Friday night game for the last couple of years. This has undoubtedly has to be our game of the week for week one, because it is just such a great non-conference rivalry. These two, Bellbrook and Tippecanoe, again, two teams very similar. great head coaches, very disciplined teams, always have a lot of talent, always, it's crazy because whoever wins this game always seems like they go on like a huge undefeated stretch right after. Obviously, this was the case for Tippecanoe. And then obviously Bellbrook too. So Bellbrook lost.
Well, they both
went on to be undefeated.
They both had great seasons after this game.
Absolutely. But starting with Tip, I mean, it was 3 straight MVL titles for them. 11-0 after beating Bellbrook in week 1 into the second round playoff. But that exit was stunning loss. Absolutely. It was,
as Joey once said.
It was surprising to see losing to St. Mary's. Obviously, if you saw some stuff on social media and some segments we ran, Coach Bergbacher giving me some crap. I made bulletin board material for the Red Devils, but yeah, I mean,
for those who don't know, Joey tweeted about that stunning loss when it happened, and now that tweet lives in Tippecanoe's locker room.
Yeah, it does. And then he went on to say a few more things about me, but I love Coach Bergbacher. He's one of the best. Kayler got to meet him already, and he's great.
You said I was egging him on. I could have said way more.
I know you could have. You honestly didn't need to say him anything. He was just taking it.
He just went.
He took it.
He just went.
He's great, but
you got to go find that clip on Twitter at Kayler Smith TV if you haven't seen it yet.
Go check it out. It is funny. It was great. I showed everybody, and I was like, "This is good. This is good content." But yeah, Tippecanoe obviously. They're definitely fueled by that as talking to them at practice, as we've heard. Well, we thought they were going to be a state championship team last year. Just an unfortunate loss, but they always pack a punch every year. Bergbacher's got those guys ready to play year in and year out. They got their all MVL quarterback coming back. Larkin Thomas had 2,600 passing yards, 38 touchdowns last year. The running back Xavier Melton back again.
38 touchdowns is wild.
What? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he is the heart and soul of their offense. They lost one of their big playmakers in Jackson Davis, the receiver who's playing now at Findlay, I believe. But you got a guy like Xavier Melton back, Will Strong. Now we'll kind of move into that wide receiver 1 spot. But always good to see what Tippecanoe has in store. And Kayler obviously was up at Tip City hearing from Coach Bergbacher and the guys about this coming season as well.
It's been a great motivation for us this offseason. It's certainly something that these guys that are returning have not forgotten. We're always going to want that next step, and that next step for us is, we want to get back to state like we did a few years ago.
Coach Bergbacher has a poster up in the locker room of our score from our last game of when we lost, and it's just kind of a reminder every day of what we don't want to happen because, like I said, this is our last year for some of us, and, that was very emotional because we worked very hard, and we work very hard every year.
And what they don't want to happen is to be tweeted about by Joey like that again.
I texted Coach. I said, "Coach, I'm so sorry." I didn't say sorry, but I said, "Oh no." I said, "I wish it said state champs." And he said, "That's okay. It'll be that. That's what it'll be this year." So speaking into existence for the Red Devils. But they have always one of the best teams, one of the most dangerous teams in the area. They're always a contender. Looking again to kind of dominate the MVL. So it'll be exciting to see that first game. And this year it'll be in Bellbrook. Last year it was at Tip City. So kind of switching gears, Bellbrook on the other side of that. You didn't get out to their practice, but you have already been, and we'll hear from them later this week. But tell us a little bit more about the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, they are on an impressive stretch right now. They're going for their 6th consecutive Swabble title, which is just
so good.
Hard to do in any league, but 10th year for Jeff Jenkins at the helm, so another 10-year anniversary coach this year. We were just talking about Dave Miller reaching 10 years, so that's pretty impressive to stick around that long, especially in an area like this where it seems like you could probably move up if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Really impressive what he's been able to build over the last decade at Bellbrook. They went undefeated last year after losing to Tip in the opener and then went on to lose in the regional finals. So they also made a deep playoff run. But one thing that's interesting about this game, looking at the last several years, this will be the 5th year in a row that they play in the season opener, but it's gone back and forth every single year. They've traded wins since 2021. Nobody's gotten on a streak. So if Tip wins this year, it'll be the first streak in the last 5 years.
Wow. I mean, that just goes to show you what's turned into this non-conference rivalry. And again, I mean, now in this case, it's a Division III team versus a Division III team. So that competitive, edge is more balanced out. But it, like you said, it's just, back and forth kind of almost every year, it seems like. And, it's hard for either team because there's so much built up into this. And I remember, being at the game last year and, seeing just obviously just a defeated Bellbrook team, Jenkins looking like they had just lost the state championship. I mean, that's how much that first game means to them. And then they take that fuel, and then they go on an undefeated streak, go on to win a fifth straight Swabble title. So
it's probably similar to what Alter and Fairmont have to say about one another.
Absolutely.
Like once they get past that game, they're rooting for each other to both
Absolutely.
have successful seasons, and they both typically do.
Right.
So
yeah, it would just be cool to see them see each other in the playoffs again too. That's where I would love, and
now,
I don't know when the last time they saw each other in the playoffs.
Question on that, because of the expansion and the realignment this year. Have they been in the same division for the last 5 years?
They've been in the same division, Tip in Division 3, Bellbrook in Division 3. I'm not sure. Bellbrook could have made a move recently. I'd have to go back and look.
Okay.
Tip could have as well, maybe come from D2 to D3.
I'm just wondering if they've had the opportunity to even play one another in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, they were going to be in different regions, so by the time either one of them could meet, some tough teams in, the Columbus area or in the Cincinnati area, and that, maybe that knocks them out, I think, before they could even get the chance. But last year would have been the best case for either one of them. I think it wouldn't have been until potentially the state semifinals, I'd imagine, at the least. Maybe even the state championship, which would be just unbelievable, but probably likely a state semifinal matchup. But obviously, Bellbrook was so close again. They lost in the regional final. I think it was a 13-12 loss to London last year in the regional final. So they're still looking for that first state semifinal appearance in program history. But, they have a lot of returners as well, including their quarterback, who I spoke with as well. But, they're jazzed about this season and ready for this opener as well this year.
Just watching them walk off the field with that trophy, especially as us seniors going our last year, that kind of just set the fire under us. So every day we kind of just work harder to get there. We want more.
They know what it's going to take, I think, to take the next step and how close we've been in the past. So, the standard is the standard. It will never change. We expect to win a lot of games every single year. We expect to compete for championships and hopefully a regional title or more.
Our out-of-conference schedule is what lets us thrive in the playoffs. We play these hard teams and gets us really prepared for in those in-game situations where the team we're going against is really good, but so are we. We're up for the challenge.
And they always have an insanely tough non-conference schedule. They play Bellefontaine again this year. Last year, obviously, they were really good with Tavian St. Clair, the Ohio State quarterback. But his little brother is now the quarterback for the Chieftains. So young St. Clair up and coming. They play Alter and CJ, two teams in the GCL. And they also play one of their big Swabble opponents, who's always good at Valley View, too. So Jenkins always has a tough schedule for those Golden Eagles. So, but just a great way for week one. And Kayler, you'll be there in Bellbrook for it all. So
can't wait. Join us for the first edition of Operation Football this Friday.
Absolutely. So that kind of puts a little wrap on our high school football segment. But of course, we're going to have our pre-Operation Football show coming up this week as well. So make sure you join us for that for all the high school football coverage. But coming up here after the break, we're going to be talking about all things Bengals, Reds, and much more.
Welcome back to Two Sports Overtime. We've had a busy week of news as far as the Bengals go. Some good, some not so good. When you hear the name Trey Hendrickson at this juncture in the preseason, you're hoping that it's because he's finally reached a deal and he's going to be playing again.
Nope.
But instead, some breaking news over the weekend. The Bengals are reportedly listening, quote unquote, to trade offers for their all-pro defensive end as his negotiations have reached an impasse once again. He's been holding in for the last couple of weeks. He did finally return to Cincinnati to go to training camp to avoid getting fined, but he has not participated one single day. The interesting thing, I know like the fan base is kind of split about this. I see people saying, just you're getting paid $16 million, just deal with it. And then other people are like, why won't we just sign him? This is why we can never win a Super Bowl. Just by comparison, just so y'all know, he was the leading sacker, I guess, in the NFL last year. And compared to his counterparts, for example, Myles Garrett with the Browns, $25 million this year to Hendrickson's $16 million. And for the Raiders, Max Crosby, a whopping $33 million. again to Hendricks.
I assume he wants Max Crosby money. I would assume he would expect probably no less than that. And he probably knows, okay, I'm not going to give Myles Garrett money, but I'd put him at the same tier as Max Crosby in terms of just production and what he causes offense to do in terms of havoc and things like that. So,
and just imagine what this defense is going to look like
without him. Right. I mean, this Hendrickson saga has
it already
been
wasn't
nuts.
great before him not potentially playing. But anyways, so that has been going on in the background as the preseason continues. Their final preseason game is at home this upcoming Saturday against the Colts at 1:00. Likely we'll see a lot of Daniel Jones and or Anthony Richardson, probably both. They both played in their last game. So that'll be interesting to see. Daniel Jones has been a big topic of conversation around the league the last couple of years with everything that he's had going on with him getting paid and not performing up to that level. But along with the Bengals, the Browns preseason continues. Their final preseason game is at home this Saturday against the Rams. We've seen Shedeur Sanders and Daniel Jones now both basically get the keys to the offense. Kind of pretty comparable numbers as far as yardage and completions. Shedeur against the Panthers went 14 for 23 with 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Daniel Jones, why did I write Daniel Jones there? That is supposed to say Dylan Gabriel.
I was going to interject. I was going to let you figure it out on your own.
My bad. Daniel Jones on the brain. Dylan
God,
Gabriel.
could you mention that quarterback room in the Browns? 7th quarterback, Daniel Jones in Cleveland.
Dylan Gabriel, against the Eagles, went 13 for 18 with 143 yards, but he had no touchdowns and an interception. That interception was a pick 6. So he did have a touchdown pass, but just to the other team.
It's wild they're going back to Flacco.
They are going to be starting. They announced this week they're going to be starting Flacco week 1 against the Bengals. So that's what we predicted. You could go back a few weeks ago to when we started talking. We knew it was going to be Flacco.
Right.
It
is wild how well
I don't know if that's
Shedeur
what the Bengals
performed.
want to see.
No,
se. Especially if they're not going to have Hendrickson week 1.
Yeah, a veteran quarterback coming back in. But it was interesting to see, Shedeur performed pretty well. Is that going to do anything? But I think it'll take a lot for them to maybe go to hit him again.
Flacco's proven.
Yeah.
He's just proven, and especially in Cleveland, too.
Absolutely. We're going to keep an eye on the Browns, the Bengals as well. We'll see what happens with this Hendrickson saga. Seems like every week lately it was kind of all quiet on the front there, but now it's back to kind of square one with the trade again. So who knows where it'll go. Obviously Bengals fans want him signed, but just have to wait and see. But
more starting quarterback news as well. Ohio State announced that Julian Sayin will be the starter.
Big news there.
Week 1 for the reigning national champion Buckeyes against the number 1 team in the nation, Texas. How about that?
Longhorns. We're going to be there for it. It's going to be great. Obviously, Sayin has a little bit more of the experience of kind of being there in the program. Obviously Tavian St. Clair from Bellefontaine, too young. Lincoln Conholtz, just not enough background there within the program. So kind of as expected, Sayin's the starter. Pretty sure he's like a former top 10 recruit in the country. So he carries all the juice that needs to lead the Buckeyes. So we'll just see. It was nice having Will Howard come in as a veteran guy to lead that team, but Sayin obviously kind of comes highly touted and has a good arm, and we'll be ready for that week 1 game. So and then finally, quickly pivoting to the MLB. So back to the Queen City in Cincinnati. The Reds obviously big time win, ending the Brewers' 14-game win streak. That was their franchise record. Pretty exciting to see that over the weekend as well.
It didn't look good to start.
No.
I mean, the Reds had opportunities in all 3 games in the series to both win and blow the games. And they blew 2 of the games on Friday and Saturday, which got the Brewers to their 14-game win streak, which was a franchise record. And then it put Cincinnati on the verge of losing their own streak of not having been swept at all this season. They're the only team left in the league still. But
it's wild
finally,
that they haven't been swept.
The defense came through, and they got it done in extra innings on Sunday to end the Brewers' streak. The 14 games is crazy.
I know. They were the best team in the baseball. So good for the Reds to get that done. Unfortunately, just as the rotation gets healthy with Hunter Green's return, it goes back to being unhealthy again. Our guy, Chase Burns, a former Dragon, placed on the 15-day injured list with the right flexor strain. Terry Francona said he's thinking it will be just a couple weeks. So, but the Reds still in the playoff hunt. So if they can get Chase Burns back and get that rotation healthy again,
they're right on the bubble.
They're
there,
right
the
on the
wild
bubble.
card.
We'll
Not one game, but they're one spot out of it.
Yeah, we'll see if they can make that run. So that's all the time we have for Two Sports Overtime today. Thanks, Kayler Smith. I'm Joey DeBerardino. We'll see you back here again next week for more sports. And check out that pre-op football show as high school football gets underway.